Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Valerie if you're new here, and today I'm surrounded by wine bottles because I'm going to be doing a review of Winc versus Bright Cellars because I had both of the subscriptions processed in the same month of July. So I figured because I had them both processed, it was kind of a mistake, but because I had them both processed, I might as well talk about them for you and compare them. I took some notes because this is not my first time getting the orders from these services, so I could give you some really good background from like box 1 to box 2 and what the differences were in pricing and things like that. Also, I'll be using one of these bottles to cook a seafood pasta dish, Seafood Linguine with a wine sauce. So stay tuned at the end for that recipe since I'm really excited to show you guys. And also, I think these services give you like a referral code for friends and family. I think Winc does, not sure about Bright Cellars, but I will be putting those links in the description so you guys can get a discount on your first box because I know these things can be a little pricey, so want to give you guys that. But yeah, just stay tuned for my thoughts on these services. So I have both boxes here. Like I was saying, I didn't anticipate on having 2 wine subscriptions in 1 month. I really wanted to just have one coming like every couple of months just to keep wines on stock for me, for cooking purposes mainly, like keeping a white and a red on hand. I'm not a huge wine drinker, but it's nice to have on hand. Usually I open a bottle, drink a glass, put it back in the fridge and forget about it, and I let it go bad. So that is not cool. But yeah, let's get into it. I have my notes here to keep me on track because I can't remember anything. So let's take it from the top. So the first one that I joined was Winc here. Back in March, for some reason I freaked out about being able or not being able to get alcohol. I don't know why, but I joined kind of at the beginning of all of this isolation. And I got my first 4 bottles for $33 total shipped to me, which is fantastic. And the email noted a $30 discount on that order, that initial order. There's steep discounts on these things usually, just like anything. I got 3 whites and 1 red in that order. I told them, like, you know, stick for the most part with wines that I like, but put one in that may be a bit different for me, kind of out of my standard tastes. And they did so, and I remembered really enjoying those wines. Fun fact, I used one of those bottles as a rolling pin to make some bread, so that was very fun. And I still don't have a rolling pin. So I ordered that box on March 21st and it was delivered on the 28th, so not too bad, just 1 week wait. Overall, very good experience with that. And again, very inexpensive. I was really impressed with the price and enjoyed those wines very much. And we'll talk about our first Bright Cellars box. So the next month I decided to get another box. Again, I was still kind of like freaking out about the state of things and wanted to have some wine on hand. And I wanted to do a different service to get that introductory offer on the box, and I definitely did. So with Bright Cellars, I actually got 5 bottles in my first order from them. Typically it's 4, but they did like a bonus bottle. I think I like accepted one of their emails for a bonus bottle, and I got that for $43.16 for 5 bottles. And that email noted a $70 discount. So pretty crazy. 70 bucks off is insane. And that was 5 white wines and 2 red wines. And that was ordered on April 17th. It didn't get to me until the 26th. That brings us to July. That brings us to July here, and I have 2 boxes in front of me. I've been like skipping the order processing for each month. The 1 month it like tried to process and I canceled it, I think for Bright Cellars, and I kind of like had a panic attack because I saw the price, which we'll get into. So around now I knew I was gonna get another box processed to me just to like refresh my wine stock. And the first one that processed was actually Bright Cellars on July 17th. And I got 4 bottles for $96. So I kind of cried when I saw that email. But, you know, I can expect a bit of a surcharge for the convenience of them like picking the wines for me based on my taste, shipping them to me to my doorstep. So I can definitely accept a higher price, but $96 for 4 bottles is kind of crazy for me. A little bit of a steep price. I did get 4 whites with this box, and it was, I don't know if I said this yet, but it was ordered on the 17th and delivered on the 23rd. So very quick turnaround there. I was very impressed by that. And then we'll talk about Winc. So the Winc box was processed on the 18th, so just one day after the Bright Cellars one, and it arrived 7 days later. So it arrived on the 30th. So quite a long wait for the Winc one. I don't know what's going on. I think they may have more subscribers than Bright Cellars. I can't be too sure, but it just seems like Winc is pushed pretty hard with like social media advertising and like influencer marketing. So I'm not really sure, but it arrived a little bit later for me, but I got 4 bottles from Winc for $60. $60 is kind of in line with, more so in line with what I would expect for like the ongoing pricing to be. You know, it's a little bit more than I would spend for 4 bottles on my own, but you know, kind of within reason. And I did get 3 whites and 1 red with this order, in keeping with my like preferences. Okay, I've unboxed the boxes of wine, and if I have a referral link for these services, I think I might have one for Winc, not sure about Bright Cellars, but I will put those links in the description so you guys can get your wines at a discount, drink your bottles at a discount. So I'm just gonna go based on label what I think I'm gonna like from these services. The 2 prettiest labels that I have in front of me from Bright Cellars, this beautiful 2019 California Batik Muscat of Alexandria. Muscat, I don't know if this is going to be like more sweet like Moscato. I'm not really sure. I should probably know more about wine than I do, but it looks very beautiful. The wine bottle is gorgeous. Not sure if that's focusing. And then I have this wonderful Silverscape Sauvignon Blanc. Yes, it is. And it's a 2019. You know, you do notice that a lot of the bottles that you get here are like last year vintage, right? Last year vintage. But yeah, that's no problem for me. I don't know anything about vintages. But this bottle looks gorgeous. Silverscape. And this is also from California. Lots of domestic wines here. I'm not sure if that's like a requirement. What is this Honey Beast? So then I have some from Winc as well. I have this Honey Beast. This is a, what is this again? Sauvignon Blanc? No? Yes, no? What are you, Honey Beast? Vigonier? No. Just says Honey Beast. What are you, Honey Beast? Let me see if I can find out what Honey Beast is. The name of the wine is Viognier. I almost said Vigonier, but that's not very eloquent. Is it Viognier? Vigonier? I don't know. I'm not really sure, but it sounds like it'll have some honeysuckle, apricot and rose aromas, so that's cool. I don't know what this wine is specifically, but it sounds good to me. And another beautiful one that we have is this Easy Peasy Lemon Squeezy Sauvignon Blanc. I appreciate the screw top. I really do. So I'm thinking this will have some lemony notes to it. Light and crisp and full of zingy citrus deliciousness. Okay, I'll take that. And I think in the recipe that I'm gonna do, I'll be using this Akoya Chardonnay. I prefer to cook with something a little drier, and I think Chardonnay is a bit of a drier wine. Hard work yields beautiful results. I agree. But again, this is Akoya Chardonnay. This is actually a 2018, so I don't know. I have a couple more here. I have a white blend. Actually, the Merlot, I think I said this earlier, but I drank a Merlot last night with a steak dinner that I made using Merlot in the sauce for the steak. but that brand was actually this Cactus Park brand, so that's kind of funny. But this time I got a Chardonnay from them, so I'll be trying this out. I will let you guys know what I think of the different bottles. I think on my Instagram stories, the ones that I picked specifically and just talked about, I'll let you guys know, like I'll do a picture of the bottle, what I thought about the wine, so you guys know if they lived up to the label's expectations, because for me the labels are everything, and if the wine isn't as good as the label, then I'm upset. My final thoughts on these subscriptions are that the Winc box is definitely better for like an entry level wine drinker. If you just don't know what your tastes are and you're still trying to find that out, I would go for Winc, so you can like try different things and see what you like. It's definitely also a more budget friendly option for sure. So if you're on a budget, or if you just don't care to invest that much in your wines, then go for the Winc service. The Bright Cellars is definitely better if you're used to drinking a little bit higher quality wine. If you don't just go for like the $10 to $13 bottles in the liquor store, then Bright Cellars is for you. And also, if you're really sure of what your tastes are, you know what to expect, what you'll get, then Bright Cellars is a great one as well. But overall, I've had pretty good experiences with both of the services. Some of the delivery hiccups in timing I couldn't expect because of this crazy scenario we're in right now with kind of delays and things like that. But overall, you get what you pay for, I feel like, with both of the services. All right, so now let's just hop on into the recipe. Again, I think I'm gonna be using this Akoya Chardonnay from Winc to make the sauce for the Seafood Linguine using shrimp and clams. So I'm excited. I'm very excited. All right, you guys, so I have my water boiling for the linguine pasta. I'm gonna be using some just regular linguine for this dish. I have half a pound of shrimp deveined and cleaned up, as well as a can of whole baby clams that I drained and rinsed. And I also looked for shells in there. You have to be careful for shells in the canned clams, so I have those ready to go. I'm also gonna be using some dried parsley for this, as well as some lemon, some garlic. I think I'm gonna withhold this vegetable broth. I don't think I'm gonna use that. I thought I would, we'll see. Also just have some olive oil, butter, salt and pepper, and then most importantly we have our wine. This one came in the Winc subscription. This is the Akoya Chardonnay I'll be using for my wine sauce. So I'm gonna get things going. I'm gonna start sauteing some of my minced garlic in some olive oil and butter. Alright, and then I'm gonna put in about a cup of my Akoya Chardonnay. And then I'm just gonna let the alcohol kind of cook off and let this simmer for a bit. Alright, so now that that's cooked down quite a bit, I'm actually gonna squeeze some lemon juice in this. I'm gonna start with like half a lemon. You see. Watch for seeds. And then I think I am going to add some of this vegetable broth, just like half a cup. I'm loosely following a recipe, but not really. Usually these things turn out okay. And then I'm also going to season with salt and pepper at this point. I'm also going to add in some dried parsley. I would use fresh, and I actually tried growing fresh parsley this year, but nothing worked out. My herbs all died on me. I'm gonna sprinkle about a teaspoon or so of fresh parsley in there. And as this cooks down, you can just continue adding like broth to this, even adding a little bit more wine as it's cooking, like depending on how your pasta water is doing and your pasta is cooking. All right, so I added a little bit more wine and broth to this, just like a half a cup of each, and I'm just letting that further reduce down. My pasta water is boiling, so I'm gonna put my pasta in there. And I'm gonna make the whole pound because we really like leftovers and we eat a lot, so. All right, so I added my pasta to the boiling water. I actually broke it in half because it's easier to eat that way. So I'm gonna let that boil for about 10 minutes. The sauce is at a point where I'm just gonna turn it down a little bit. So now what I'm gonna do is, some of the recipes I was reading made the sauce a little bit creamy, which is something I don't normally do, but I'm gonna do for this recipe. We'll see how we like it. So I just have some regular, I think this is 2% or whole milk. So I put some whole milk here, and I'm gonna turn my heat down as I'm adding this because I don't wanna add my milk to like a super hot pan, just because that doesn't always go so well. I'm just gonna add about a half a cup of milk to the sauce, and you want to turn down the heat as you're adding the milk to the sauce. And then I'm gonna add in my seafood, my shrimp, and my whole clams to the sauce. Turn my heat back up a little bit. I'm just gonna let these cook until the shrimp is pink, and the clams will be done at the same time since they're so tiny. And at a certain point, you'll want to start flipping the shrimp over. Just about a couple minutes once they're in there. If you want to make it spicy, you can also add in some crushed red pepper flakes. We like it kind of spicy, so I'll just add in a couple shakes. So now I'm going to add my pasta to the pot now with everything else, and definitely don't drain your pasta. You want the pasta to be pretty starchy, and also you want it to absorb the sauce that's in here. I'm just gonna let everything marry together. My tongs are dirty, but that's okay. We're just gonna persevere and carry on without them. I turned my heat way down to low at this point because everything's done cooking. We just want everything to get kind of melded together. Okay, I'm also gonna top with Parmesan. I'll do like a few solid handfuls. And I'm also gonna squeeze some more lemon on top of this for like a fresh lemony flavor. Make sure there's no seeds in here. Oh, and there was one. Good eyes, Valerie. Okay. That'll just give it some fresh lemon flavor because we've been cooking it down for so long. I'm gonna do fresh pepper over the top, a little bit more salt as well. And then you can also add more cheese to the plates as you're plating the dish. And that is the seafood linguine. Let's get her plated up.